Hey there everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of my tropical plant adventures. And in today's episode, I gotta tell you, I am super excited to be showing you my blooming orchid mania that is absolutely going on in my garden right now. I mean, it is cray up in my garden, I'm telling you. I really want to give credit to the organic homemade fertilizer that I did use last year. If you guys followed my adventure, you guys know that for the entire year, I was dedicated to feeding my orchids and my plants with nothing but that organic homemade fertilizer. If you guys want to know more about it, definitely click on that link that you see right there. It'll take you right to those videos. And I gotta tell you, that is the only thing different that I did. So in my case, it definitely proved to be beneficial, and I'll prove it to you. Okay guys, so we're just gonna go ahead and get this blooming tour started with our Vandaceous orchids. We're gonna go ahead and get this party started off with the Vanda Carnda Hampton Times with Mary Mote's Dijon Gold Medal. And oh my goodness, will you take a look at this beautiful purple gal right here, with colors so deep and intense and dramatic that this Vanda almost appears to be black. And I do gotta tell you, this is probably as close to that I will ever get to the famous and very rare orchid, the Vanda Carina Motes, also known as the Black Vanda. You guys know this is one of my most favorite Vandas ever. This is the Vanda Cindy Banks. And take a look at those intense, dramatic, and bold patterns that it has on the petals. And of course, beautiful purple lip, and also very fragrant, smelling like grapes. And if we take a look down, let's go see her babies, because look at that. It is also in spike as well, about to bloom. So yes, so many things going on, and back-to-back bloomer this year this gal wants to be. One of my no ID Vandas right here. This is coming from Lowe's, so I don't know exactly what it is. All I know is this is quite a beauty with really big blooms, and the color on here is a very deep purple, and also heavily tessellated, as you can see. And this beauty is in full bloom. How beautiful is she? And guys, since we are on the subject of multiple spikes, this is the Ben Jasmine right here. And as you can see, this spike is in bloom. And taking a look over there, you're also seeing another spike with all of these beautiful, gorgeous, and fragrant blooms. Oh my goodness, so many of them. And I have to say, this is so beautifully colored with the very light lavender purple that it has. And also you're seeing some grays and also a greenish tinge to it as well. Definitely beautiful, definitely fragrant, and just a Vanda to adore, guys. Oh my goodness, I love the tremendous spottings on this. I also love the coloration on this with the deep burgundy or maroon spottings that it has, and also the pinks and the olive yellow that it has. It just really is quite a gorgeous bloomer, and also fragrant as well. Again, this is the Vanda Tatsarai. And how exciting is this? Look at that, with two spikes right here on my Vanda Louisvilliers. And it is just quite a bloomer with all of these beautiful and very glossy Vanda blooms. How gorgeous, guys. Josephine Van Brero times with a Vanda Dr. Anek. This is the very first time I'm seeing this in bloom, so I'm just totally blown away here with the very nice size of these blossoms, and also the nice fusion of different shadings of pink in here as well. And I do love those tiny spottings and very vague tessellated patterns in here that you can see. Again, it's kind of blurred, but you can take notice of that nice pattern in there. And then I do love the broad shaped lip right there. Very deep pink. And of course that lovely yellowish orange in the center as well. Just very, very beautiful. And again, I'm just really blown away. This dainty bloomer right here with the beautiful yellow and also that beautiful lavender lip. This right here is the Vanda tessellata times with the Vanda testacea. And I do want to show you, because it still amuses me, that as you can see right here, this is the spike from the prior month. And then it gave us 2 spikes right here, one with a seed pod. But as you can see, this is another one back to back bloomer. I'm just so amazed, guys, at how many bloom spikes we're getting from these Vandas. Like, oh my goodness. This is the Vanda insignis times the Vanda brunea, and these are the beautiful blooms, very waxy. You're also seeing a tessellated pattern in there. The color of the backdrop is that very deep maroon, and then of course on that lip right there you're seeing that salmon pink. Very gorgeous and also very fragrant blooms right here. And the next one up is a Vanda Janine Cedran times with a Vanda tessellata. And this pinky gal right here is just so beautiful. And this one is also fragrant as well. Oh, she's so sweet, guys. We have yet another delightful Vanda that has come into bloom. This is the Kulpana Delight Sunrise, and it is quite delightful in its color. As you can see, with the very deep burgundy spottings, and in the backdrop you're seeing that beautiful orangey yellow. Definitely tropically delicious and quite striking and bold. This one right here, guys, is quite a beauty. This is the Vanda Kultana Gold times with a tessellata, and I do love the beautiful colors and of course that wonderful tessellated patterns in the petals. So gorgeous and also fragrant as well. And here's one right here that I gotta tell you has quite an awesome color fusion. Look at that, guys. So it has somewhat of a, I don't know, a pinky, orangey, salmony color in the petals, but also has a light hint of that fuchsia color on top of the petals as well. I don't know how well it's coming off on the camera, but that's what I'm seeing. And it's the same type of fuchsia that's on the actual lip and tongue area right there. So beautiful. What a gorgeous color combination on this. And I love the fact that it is compact and closely together. All of those flowers just gives quite an awesome display. And just in case you're wondering, I don't know how well you can read this, it's kind of a bit faded. Oscasenda Kenny Gold Luke Tie times with a Rinco Solistis Pink. And we also have this beautiful bloomer right here. I wish I could tell you what it is, but I lost the tag on this one too as well. So unfortunately, all I can tell you is that it is absolutely gorgeous, and I do love the ripples and the waviness of those petals and the very beautiful color combination on these. So wonderful. And this one is also fragrant as well. And if we do look towards the back, we're also seeing this one right here in spike and also in bud as well. And this one right here, guys, I do gotta tell you, is one of my most favorites. I know you can see why. Look at those beautiful colors on this. You're seeing that gorgeous yellow and also a fusion of pink on the tongue and also on the outer edges of the petals. And this one right here is called the MV Tannins, known as the mainly Vanda orchid, which is named by my good friend Stuart, and is why this is also one of my favorites. And if we do take a look-see way up in my tree, way up high, is that huge, large Vanda right there. And I do gotta tell you, it is one of my largest ones. And why I'm so happy and so excited about this one is because if we look, can you see it? There are 2 spikes coming off of this one. So we're gonna have some very lovely blooms. Now unfortunately, I cannot bring this out of my tree because the roots right here are so long that they will actually dangle onto the ground, and I don't want that. So that's why I have to have it so far up. That's how huge it is. And right here we do have a Mimi Palmer cross, and unfortunately she is fading. But here are some blooms that you can definitely get a great look at how beautiful it is. And this one actually gave us 1 spike, 2 spike, and 3 spike, guys. But not only that, if we take a look down over yonder, you're gonna see that her little babies also produced a spike as well. Isn't she gorgeous? Such a beautiful bloomer this one is, and also fragrant as well. Okay, so leaving this section right here, let's go ahead and take a look-see over this way, because I do have Vandas spread out throughout my garden. And I have one right here, which I don't know, do you recognize this one? This is also a Cindy Banks as well. I do have a couple of them, and this one actually is mounted into this tree. And if we go ahead and move on this way over yonder, guys, this one in particular right here is in bloom. I do love how congested and how just packed in all of those blooms are on that single spike. And it's such a beautiful color with the lighter orangey pink and then that deep fuchsia colored lip. Also love the fact that it does have very beautiful tessellated patterns if we take a closer look, and also some very tiny spottings in there. This is a beautiful one. And just in case you wanted to know what she is a Vanda Canuck times with a Vanda Pine River. Right here, guys, we have the wonderful and beautiful Vanda Mimi Palmer. So gorgeous and also so very fragrant are these blooms. And here's a Vanda right here, another mother and daughter team, because they are both in spike. How awesome is that? So we'll have a good amount of time to enjoy these blooms. And as we're taking a look at the blooms, they are so gorgeous. And I gotta tell you, this is one of my most favorite fragrant Vanda right here. This has such a heavenly plumeria-like scent, very heavily scented and intoxicating. This is a Denisoniana cross with an insignia. Even way in the back, guys, I have another Vanda right here that is in bloom. This is the beautiful Tatsarai, another one of my favorites. Okay, so we're now back on the other side. You guys remember this bird cage of a display right here with my Maxillaria tinifolia, also known as the coconut orchid, because of the sweet smelling coconut buttery cookies that it does smell like. Well, this one in particular, remember, we did an extreme rescue on. And yes, this one right here proved just how hardy of a plant this is, because it didn't skip a beat right after we did propagate and rescue this orchid. It gave us some blooms. So I'm very thrilled to say that yet again, for this year this time, we are getting yet another bloom season from this. Yay, so excited. And look at here, it's already begun to bloom, and it smells so sweet and scrumptious, and you are seeing buds throughout this entire plant. So again, I'm just very excited. Yay! But not only that, guys, do you remember when we literally took individual bulbs from this Maxillaria tinifolia in attempt to rescue and of course also propagate? Well, guess what? Here it is right now, right in here. And as you can see, we gave it its very own bird cage. And if we take a look-see, you are going to see that each individual bulb did grow new growths. But not only that, guys, this year it will literally grow its individual flowers as well. I don't know, can you see in there? It's right in there. And then on the other side right here, it is growing a flower there as well. So very excited. These can really bounce back rather quickly, and again are very hardy orchids. This is actually the entryway of what I call driftwood alley, and I got so many plants in here now you hardly see the driftwood. This is actually where I house a lot of my deciduous dendrobiums, meaning my dendrobiums that will lose majority if not all of their leaves, and majority of times they will become leafless, and in place of those leaves you will see these beautiful blooms. Right here, guys, is the Dendrobium Aphyllum. Has very, did I mention, very long canes. And yes, indeed, they are in bloom. Again, this is a deciduous dendrobium losing all of its leaves. And in place are these gorgeous, gorgeous blooms. What a stark comparison to how we would normally see blooms. But I gotta tell you, if we take a close look, it is quite striking and a bit whimsical, if you ask me. So gorgeous. And what I do love is if we take a look right here, this is a little tiny keiki, as you can see right there, and all of its roots. And yes, indeed, the keiki is in bloom too. Look at there. This is my Dendrobium Hono Ono right here. And look how beautiful these purple blooms have turned out. Very, very gorgeous. And then if we take a look over here, it does have this one white bloom. I know, very awkward, right? I do believe somehow, perhaps, the white variety got mixed in here. I don't know, it's just very awkward, but I'm not complaining. Now I have all of these gorgeous blooms in its magenta purplish color, and then this very pristine white. And these are all sweetly fragrant as well. My Dendrobium aggregatum, or aggregatum, however you guys want to pronounce that, in full bloom. Oh my goodness, look at those glorious, glorious blooms. You are seeing that it is extremely and very richly colored. I mean, it's almost that deep yellow saffron or egg yolk yellow. Very, very rich, very intense, and so bright and cheerful. I mean, these are like sunshiny blooms right here. How could you not be happy when looking at these? And right here, guys, we have a piece of driftwood, and upon this driftwood we have mounted this Cattleya type of orchid right here, as you can see. And you can also see that it is in bloom. And I do gotta tell you, it has quite an interesting and very unique shape in its bloom. Also, it is so wonderfully colored as well. Look at that, guys. How amazing are the blooms on these? Now, I don't know exactly what this is. I did lose the tag in one of the storms, but I will say it is absolutely fabulous and very out of this world. And this one in particular, this is the Psychopsis. If you guys remember, I did do a video on this orchid right here, also known as the Samurai Orchid. And take a look at this beauty right here. Love the patterns and the uniqueness of the shape of this bloom. And this is actually coming from this particular orchid right here. Again, the Psychopsis. And alongside of this beautiful Psychopsis, we have this gorgeous Dendrobium right here. This is the Dendrobium lodogicii, and this does bloom. So many blooms, as you can see. Gorgeous in its pink and very striking yellow. And also this one creates lots and lots of keikis as well. So you get a double whammo with this orchid right here. Again, the Dendrobium lodogicii. Right here we're taking a look at a mass of leafless canes. This is the Dendrobium linguella. And unfortunately, we are getting the latter end of her blooms, but let's go ahead and take a look. And here they are, guys, so dainty and so adorable, where they're very light pastel colored petals, also seeming to be some sort of frosty pink. Very lovely and unique and adorable. And we do have some more Ophyllum buds right here, as you can see. If we take a look right here, because I don't want to miss this one, take a look. See, this is a beautiful Encyclia, a lot in bloom, on a very, very, very long spike, I might add. She does bloom quite an interesting and very unique bloom. Look at that. How pretty is she? And right over this way in my orchid kennel, we are here to view this beautiful Halutiana right here. This is such a beautiful and gorgeous and very, very unique bloom. Let's take a closer look at those blooms. Look at that, guys. How beautiful. And I can't even begin to tell you how amazingly fragrant this is. Such a lemony, fruity scent on these. And so strong, in fact, it'll fill up my entire garden. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous bloomer. Look at this one, guys. What a cutie pie, and such a unique braided structure and growth habit that it does have. And as you can see, they can get pretty long. This is a Lacartia, and let's take a look at her blooms. Aw, so awesome. And look at those arms. It looks like it just wants to run up to you and give you a hug. How cute. And right here, guys, is my orchid that is called the Philodota. And as you can see right here is its very strange spike. This has somewhat of a rattlesnake-like bloom when they all flower. I mean, it's a very, very strange looking bloom and very extraordinary in the fact that it is one of my most unique bloomers. This one right here, I am so excited about. This is the Chisis bractescens. And oh me, oh my, this is also the first time for it to bloom for me. And take a look-see at those very waxy, very thick fleshed blooms right there. Blooming quite a beautiful, very white and yellow bloom, and also very fragrant as well. Smelling so much like gardenia. Just so very intoxicating and quite beautiful. And this is the Ascocenda rumro. I do gotta tell you that my most favorite attribute of this bloom right here is the fact that, take a look at that tongue. Do you see that snake-like tongue? How unique is that? And you're not gonna find too many orchids with that quality right there. Just so unique. That snake or ribbon-edged tongue. This right here is a species Phalaenopsis. This is the Schilleriana, and very happy to see these come into bloom. These actually really surprised me because, as you can see, there is no media at all in this pot. I was actually meaning to mount this up into my tree. Didn't get a chance, kind of forgot about it, and they surprised me with these gorgeous blooms. And of course, those wonderful mottled leaves, just so gorgeous, and so happy to see these. And here's another Phalaenopsis that has come into bloom, so beautiful, looking much like the Phalaenopsis bellina. But this one doesn't smell like Fruit Loop. This actually smells just like ginger. Right here we have the Encyclia curdigera. This is the Rosea variety, and yes indeed, guys, take a look-see. This one too is coming into bloom very soon, at least. And I am very sad to say that this golf green hairpig did come into bloom, but we didn't capture it in enough time. Oh, and I do gotta show you something over this away. Oh my goodness, I'm extremely excited about this one right here. And let's take a look-see at those dainty blooms. I don't know if you guys recognize this one. This is the first time bloomer for me in my care. Oh my goodness, this one is such a darling. The blooms are very, very small, but oh my, I mean, they're still so very beautiful. And I want to show you exactly which one this is. I don't know, do you recognize the name? This is the Vanda Maria Young right here. And this was named after me by Moats Orchids. Isn't she gorgeous? Ah, So adorable, guys. And here we are, guys, at my Cattleya mounting station right here. So let's go ahead and check out what's been growing and blooming on here. And as you can see underneath this alocasia umbrella, how cute is that? This alocasia is protecting these beauties right here. This has come into bloom, and this is a no ID right here, so not quite sure what it is, other than the fact it has such a beautiful, vibrant, very splashy color of that intense reddish orange. And this one right here, do you guys remember? I did showcase this Cattleya in my prior video, but this is the second time around, guys. This is the second set of blooms for this Cattleya lutomaniana right here. Very gorgeous, very beautiful, and very fragrant. And hidden away to the very back, there's also another spike, and it is in flower. So we do have one Phalaenopsis here that has been mounted in bloom. We did have some other Phalaenopsis right here, and this one in particular was spiking, but unfortunately, while I was moving things here and there to and fro, I accidentally broke this one. Such a heartbreak, guys. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Right here, guys. This is my Phaeus Tanker Villae right here. And she has come into bloom. As a matter of fact, there are some that have begun to fade and even have started to create their pods. You see that? Yes, it's creating its pods already. Oh, look at that. We're going to have quite a lot of these pods. But as you can see, she still has so much more to go, and we have some time to enjoy her beauty still. Beautiful Phaeus Tanker Villae. This is the ground growing orchid, and also known as the nun's cap orchid as well. Very glorious in the capability of having all of those beautiful blooms. And as you can see, this one right here is a mounted Cattleya that I did mount onto a wooden log piece, as you can see right there. I do believe this is some form of Brassivola hybrid, and indeed is quite a fragrant bloomer as well. She is quite a lovely, lovely gal. Look at that. And how exciting is this, guys? This is my Dendrobium thyrsophlorum, and this is actually the second time that this has come into bloom for us. The first set has faded, but she did have some spikes left, and they did their job, blooming so beautifully and very fragrant as well. This should look very familiar to you because I have shown this in so many of my videos, but this is my favorite species variety Oncidium, and as you can see, it is growing in a seashell. Nothing more than a seashell without any type of media. So that shows you just how hardy and prolific this can grow. But not only that, this gives quite a spectacular bloom display as well. Very, very gorgeous. And this one in particular is coming from Todd's Tropical. Thank you very much, Todd. This is very sentimental to me, and also very striking and very, very gorgeous. And I just absolutely love it, love it, love it, guys. So this one right here is my Dendrobium amabile. I gotta tell you, I'm so excited with all of the gorgeous blooms that we're getting this year. I'm just really at awe here. So take a look at these blooms. My goodness, aren't they gorgeous? And as you can see, my giant Dendrobium nobile is still in bloom and now is fully in bloom. And as a matter of fact, some of the blooms are fading, but we had a good while on this one and definitely gave us quite a phenomenal blooming display all the way around. Taking a look over yonder, guys, we will see this beautiful cluster of grape-like blooms, very pendulous and having a good amount of them. And this right here is the Dendrobium thyrsophlorum with its beautiful white petals and also very extreme and dramatic yellow throat. This is quite a beautiful bloomer. And behind my Certrosperma johnstonii, we will see, lay hidden behind, is this Phalaenopsis species right here, and it is in spike, and as you can see also in beautiful bud and in bloom. This right here is the species Phalaenopsis mannii. And I do have growing throughout my garden these terete Vandaceous orchids right here. This particular one is the Miss Jaquim. And if we take a look over this way, we do have a beautiful bloom that is coming from her. And I do love those gorgeous and unique shapes of those petals, and also that very flared lip right there. Just a very gorgeous bloom. Right here is my table slash plant slash orchid display. And if we take a closer look, you are seeing that these epidendrums have continued to bloom. Also known as your crucifix orchids, as you can see with those crucifix standing straight up. And a very nice purple pink color. And throughout, guys, this is just continuing to bloom its beautiful blooms. Look at there. Also intertwined in this moss right here. Very beautiful ground growing epidendrums. And if we take a look-see right here, we're seeing some Epicattleyas with that beautiful lime green, also that yellow and that magenta right there. Very gorgeous and unique looking blooms. And this, my friend, is when your hard work and effort truly come into bloom. Look at this Schilleriana right here that has so many buds. This one is my second time bloomer, and this year it gave me 9 beautiful blooms. Unbelievable, guys. And there you have it, folks. The proof is in the blooms. I gotta tell you, it has been a record blooming year. I've never had so many blooms at one time, and so many blooms already, guys. And I have to keep saying it. I firmly believe that it is accredited to the organic homemade fertilizer that I did use for the entire year. And I believe the reason behind that is because it is organic, because it is all natural. There wasn't all the added chemicals and preservatives and even toxins that they do put in some of those fertilizers. So in essence, the fertilizer was more digestible to the plants, and the plants could fully utilize all of the nutrient qualities that was in that organic fertilizers. Also, I would like to know of any other types of homemade organic fertilizers that you guys have used or maybe have thought about using. Make sure you guys let me know, because I definitely would also like to give it a try. And make sure you guys post those comments below. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of my tropical plant adventures, and I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys learned something new. And if you guys did, make sure you like, share, and also subscribe, and I will see you guys later, and I'll also grow with you guys later as well on my next adventure. Bye bye.